Hello everyone, my name is Hayden and welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to be talking about AWS certifications. So in this video I'm going to cover a couple of topics about the AWS certifications, kind of what the AWS certifications are, why you'd want to do them, what are the different tracks you can go down, what are the benefits of doing these, how long do they last for, and kind of what other certifications are there in cloud computing. So let's first start with what AWS certifications are. They are basically exams that validate your knowledge against AWS kind of areas, and once you pass the exam, so you'll literally sit an exam, answer questions. Once you pass the exam you kind of get a certification, so you are up to the standard of whatever exam you've sat, and then you can now go into industry and show that exam, and it's kind of a well-recognized exam certification to say you have skills in this area. So if you do want to develop skills in AWS, you take these certifications, and it's kind of a way of proving or validating to other people that you have knowledge of AWS. This kind of leads me on to why would you want to do any of these exams. Basically they are kind of industry recognized, so you can, if you're applying for software engineering jobs, you can say, look, I've passed X AWS certification exam, and people can instantly go, right, okay, I understand you've got knowledge in that, you've been vetted externally by AWS and prove that you have knowledge in that. They're a good way to kind of break into the industry as well. So for example, if you're not from a software development background and you want to get into cloud computing or programming, you can do these certifications, and they can kind of, when you go for interviews at places, you can say, look, I have this certification, so it shows I have knowledge and understanding in that area. It could even help you get interviews. I think there's a stat as well that AWS like to say that, it actually boosts your pay salary grade, but I don't really know the full ins and outs of that, but could be the case probably. You have skills in an up and coming area, so likely you might get paid more or you're more in demand. Flip side of that, if you are already in the software development industry, they're just ways to validate and vet your knowledge. Some companies like to make their employees do them so that everybody has a good base skills and fundamental skills of how to develop and deploy and architect solutions on AWS, so that they can basically build the best platform for the company. Kind of another benefit of why you'd want to do them is if you want to grow your career in a specific area. So let's say you're a developer, but you want to move into kind of SysOps or sysadmin, you can sit a different certification to prove your skills, or vice versa. Maybe you want to do machine learning, so you do one of the kind of machine learning speciality ones, and you can kind of potentially career shift, you move into a different area of technology that way. One of the final benefits would be becoming like a subject matter expert as well. So people come to you, like let's say you do the advanced networking speciality, which is one of the exams in AWS. People would come to you and be like, oh right, okay, cool, you know everything about networking in AWS, let me talk to you about that. And that could be like a really key skill to have in an organization or a company, or when you're building kind of a product on AWS. Okay, so the next kind of area I want to touch on is what are the different tracks in certifications. So there's not just one certification that you sit and then that's it, you are like AWS certified. There are different tracks, and when I mean tracks, I mean kind of like different areas. I'll probably pop an image up on the screen, but you basically have kind of like the solutions architect area, the admin area or SysOps area, and the developer area, and these all focus on different things. So the developer is all about how do you kind of like develop and program using AWS and AWS solutions. The SysOps is all about kind of monitoring network infrastructure, kind of sysadmin, SysOps kind of world. And then you have the solutions architect, which is all about building solutions on AWS and the most optimal way of architecting a product or solution. And kind of they're all split into kind of level 1 and level 2, which is level 1 is associate. So these are kind of like base level foundation knowledge, and then you have professional kind of certifications, which is kind of builds on top of them. So you have a solutions architect associate, and then a solutions architect professional, and then the SysOps administrator and the developer one both go into the DevOps professional. So they're kind of like an extra layer on top, kind of more deeper knowledge. So the associate level is kind of for, I think the quote is for 1 year of experience on AWS, and you have a good foundational level knowledge, and then the professional is like kind of 2+ years of knowledge, and you have to know the products or the AWS services a lot more in detail. You also have, for like people that don't have any experience or like kind of less than a year, you've got the cloud practitioner, which is basically just you kind of understand what the cloud is and why you would use it. But if you're in the kind of software industry, you'd want to be hitting these kind of associate and professional level ones. There is also specialities which are kind of not on this track, but they're their own thing. Currently there are 6 that are offered, which are, I'm going to read them here: advanced networking, security, Alexa skills, machine learning, data analytics and database, These are all specialities, so these are kind of like really focusing in on one area. They're not kind of in this associate or professional kind of hierarchy bit, they're their own speciality, so there'll be a real deep dive into that area. So the kind of normal path you would follow would be, I guess if you've never done cloud before, do the cloud practitioner, then move on to the associate, then move on to the professional. Or like myself, I'm kind of following this track at the minute. I am a software engineer already, so what I'm going to do is go straight in at associate and then kind of work my way up from there. Because I don't think the cloud practitioner is really for me, it's too like fundamental basics, which I've already been using AWS for a couple of years now, so I don't really need to kind of jump through that hoop. I can just go straight to associate and professional, and then hopefully move on to speciality. What benefits do they offer? Obviously, kind of I touched on these earlier. Obviously, you get like the industry recognition, and you kind of validate your skills for people. So when you're in interviews and stuff, you can talk about them. Or especially, obviously, like one of the main fundamental reasons is when you're on the job and you're trying to design and solutionize products and services with AWS. You know all the services and how they fit together and what works. So it basically just makes you more proficient at your job, which is kind of one of the main benefits for people. Anyone that's doing this, it's not about like industry experience, it's about like being better at your job. You sit these exams, you learn more about AWS, and therefore you become better at your job. There are some other benefits as well. I think you get so when you pass one of the exams, you get like certification stash that you can buy from AWS. You get 50% discount on your next exam. The exams are quite expensive. They're about $150-ish, which equates to about £120-30 to take. Hopefully if you work at a place, they'll kind of reimburse you for them, or you can ask them to kind of like pay for you, or like as you're developing yourself, you can ask them to pay for you if that's something they offer. But when you do pass them, you do get a 50% discount on your next one. So once you've passed one, you can basically get 50% discount on the next exam you take. So once you've passed the exam, like how long do they last for? So the certifications last for 3 years. So if you pass them now in 2021, they'll expire in 2024. But there's kind of but there's different, like you can what's known as recertify, so if you do any of the associate level exams and you pass them, then obviously they last for 3 years, and then you can recertify by retaking the associate level exams, and then you've got them for another 3 years. Or what you can do is then if you take the professional level exam, then you obviously and pass it, you obviously get that accreditation, and it will also recertify your previous any associate level certification you've got. So let's say you take the developer associate certification, and then you pass the solution as an architect professional in like 2 years after your developer one, then it will obviously you'll get the certification for the professional solutions architect professional, and it will recertify your developer as well. So the idea is you kind of like the higher up the chain you pass, then it recertifies all the ones below you as well. Yeah, that's it. I'd be aware, obviously AWS is not the only cloud provider out there, and there are other cloud providers, obviously Google Cloud and Azure. They also have their own certifications for their cloud offerings. So obviously if you're not using AWS, you could look at them. But hopefully this kind of gives you a bit of a broader understanding about AWS certifications and what they offer and why you'd want to do them. Drop all your questions and comments below, because obviously I'll answer them, and I've passed some AWS certifications, so I can speak from first-hand experience. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found this useful. Please give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe and all the good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. See you later, everyone.